just want to get the good stuff. I can't do that. You gotta do it correctly. You gotta do it properly. Her mind would also wander to the friends she had left behind. She could barely look in her closet, for the clothes reminded her of rarity. She could hardly read a book, for it would remind her of What? For it would have reminded her of Twilight. Wouldn't that be it? The sight of an apple or a rainbow would bring her to tears, and anything involving parties or desserts or the colour pink would cause her grief. Discord took notice of this, as her smile wavered every time she thought of her friends. He would then do whatever he could to bring that smile back, to distract her from the fact that she was imprisoned here and would never see another pony again. It would work for a little while, but the sadness would always return. Oh, sorry. I'm still tired because this is really boring. No offense, Disney fanatic, but some of these parts are really boring, like this one. And I want to just get the really friggin' good stuff, but this is important to read. One morning she did not appear for breakfast. Discord assumed she was sleeping in and let it slide. When he passed by her room a few hours later, however, he heard sobbing. Concerned, he knocked on the door. Fluttershy! The crying ceased, and in a cracked voice she called, Come in. He peered inside to see Fluttershy on her bed, her back to him. He could hear a few sniffs coming from her. Is everything all right, my dear? He inquired, making a cautious step forward. You weren't at breakfast. I'm fine, she choked, rubbing her eyes. I just wasn't hungry. As he came round to the bed, Fluttershy tried to hide her tear-streaked face, but he had already seen it. You've been crying, he stared. Why was she still crying? He thought things had been going well between them. He had brought her animals, treated her respectfully, and yet she was still unhappy. No, Fluttershy denied. I'm fine, really. He placed his hands on her shoulders and spun her around to face him. Don't you lie to me. Honesty may not be your element, but don't lie. I invented lying. She then let out a whimper. Discord then realised how loud that was and patted her head apologetically. Sorry. She turned away from him, and he sat beside her. Come now, my dear, tell me what's wrong. Still looking down, she slowly rotated her head in his direction. You won't get mad. He tilted her head up with his eagle claw and used his paw to brush her mane out of her face. I promise. Just tell me what's troubling you, my dear, so that I may know how to make you happy again. I'm starving. Sorry, I'm so hungry and there's nothing to eat anymore. She stared into his eyes, seeing them filled with concern and kindness. Oh, look, she would never have expected from the Lord of Chaos. Sorry, I'm really sound boring, but I'm starving. I'll redo that, Disney fanatic. I can't. Sorry, I don't sound that. I'm really friggin' sorry. I'm just so hungry and there's not to eat. It was as if he truly cared for her and wanted to comfort her. He could not do that without knowing the truth. I miss my friends, she blurted. Discord's eyebrow twitched and his mouth twisted into a curvy line, not sure how to respond. Are you not happy here? No, she insisted, placing her hoof on his paw. No, it's not that. You've been so kind, and I appreciate it, but... She looked away, afraid of how he would react. But she had to say it. You said you would do anything to make me happy. I did, Discord muttered guiltily. Then let me see my friends, please, just for a moment. She looked up at him with pleading eyes, filling up with another set of tears. He could not bear to see her so miserable, but he could not give her what she desired. If he let her go even for a moment, she could take the opportunity to escape. No, she knew better than that, and that he would bring her back. Her friends, however, he could try and take her away from him, or worse, convince her to use the elements of harmony against him. She was his only friend, and his intended queen. He could not lose her. Yet he could not disappoint her either. If only there was a way to grant her wish without the risk of losing her. Then it struck him. Very well, my dear. I shall lift your sorrows. A glimmer of hope appeared on her face. You mean you'll let me see my friends? He cringed. Well, sort of. Discord snapped his fingers, and a mirror materialized in his hand. Just checking this, that's fine. This is a magic mirror. Tell it what you want to see, and it will show it to you. Fluttershy frowned as he placed the mirror in her hooves. Oh, I thought... This way you can see your friends whenever you like without disturbing them. Oh, don't think you'll be intruding, they won't know. Try it out. Oh, okay. I'd like to see my friends, please. She waited, but there was nothing in the mirror but her own reflection. You'll have to be more specific, Disco explained. Oh, show me Applejack? The image blurred, and soon her cowgirl friend appeared before her, preparing a pie in the kitchen. It lifted her spirits to see her. Thank you, she said softly. He watched her face expectantly. Come on, my dear, give me a smile. Come on, my dear, give me a smile. The one he got was hesitant and unsure, but it was a smile nonetheless. At least she had stopped crying. You're very welcome, he chimed. Now, you up for breakfast? I'm fine, thank you. Then I'll leave you to your business then. We will come to lunch later. Yes, thank you. He grinned, taking one last look at it before shutting the door. Fluttershy repositioned herself on the bed and leaned back against her pillow as she watched the scene in the mirror. Applejack was slicing apples for a pie. Spike was standing there beside her. You sure you don't want me to help? He asked. Applejack cringed. That's mighty nice of you, Spike. But last time you helped me bake a pie. Come on. It wasn't that bad. Rarity liked it. Yeah, speaking of which, shouldn't you be helping her or something? Not that I don't appreciate your being here, but you know, since you and Rarity... Her face was recovered all pinched at the mention of Spike's crush on Rarity. Oh, right, Dragon mumbled, crossing his arms as he slumped to the floor. About that. You remember Fancy Pants? That hoity-toity friend of Rarity's from Canterlot? No, not hoity-toity. Fancy Pants, Spike said with disdain. Yeah, I remember. He was the only one of them Canterlot folk who didn't insult our country ways. Well, he's here in Ponyville to visit Rarity. Really? That's mighty nice of him. She looked down at the dragon. Does his being here bother you, Spike? Rarity's been spending a lot of time with him. They had free dance at the gala last week, and Rarity talks about him a lot. You think they might be courting? No, I think they might be dating. Gee, I'm sorry to hear that, Spike. Fluttershy could see that Applejack was trying to hide a smile, as if she knew an expression would be inappropriate. Sorry, give me a minute. There we go. Would it be inappropriate? I'm just getting rid of the hair. Some things just aren't meant to be. Easy for you to say, the dragon murmured. You don't know what it's like to care for someone who doesn't return your feelings. You'd be surprised, Applejack mumbled. But still, I really thought... I mean, she kissed me a few times and called me Spiky Wikey. I slaved away doing everything I could to please her. And to think all this time she was leading me on. I'm sure she didn't mean it like that, Sugar Cube. She probably just didn't want to hurt your feelings. You think so? I know, Rarity. She may not show it sometimes, but she's sensitive on how others feel. When she was done preparing the pie, she put it in the oven. Hey, if you want to get your mind off Rarity, how about you come with me to Canterlot tomorrow when I take these pies to the orphans? Spike picked up. Really? There are going to be a lot of pies. I'll need a few extra hooves, claws. I think it's great that you're always helping those orphans. Applejack blushed. Well, since I'm an orphan myself, I feel it's my duty. Those colts and fillies don't have ponies like Granny Smith to take care of them until they do, we gotta make them happy. I never knew my parents, Spike said, looking at his feet. But you've got Twilight, she chuckled slightly. I guess that's something else we have in common. What's the other thing? A love for hard work. Fluttershy now understood what Applejack was going through, and she was happy for her, yet a little sad for Spike. Hey, Applejack, do you think Fluttershy's okay? The Pegasus's smile vanished. I think so, Applejack said weakly. Sakura said she'll be okay and she could take care of herself. You think he's married her by now? I don't know. Fluttershy figured she should see what was going on between Rarity and Fancy Pants. Show me Rarity, please, she said to the mirror. The scene shifted to the cafe in Ponyville. The couple she had requested for was sitting at a table, looking at the menus. "What do you think of Ponyville, Fancy Pants?" Rarity asked her companion with slight nervousness. The stallion glanced around. "I find it charmingly rustic." The mare breathed a sigh of relief. "I'm so glad you think so." "That's not Rarity's voice." "I'm so glad you think so." The waiter approached the table. "Have you made your selection?" What would you recommend, my dear?" Fancy Pants inquired Rarity. "Oh, the sunflower salad is simply divine." "In that case, 2 orders." Fluttershy could not tell if they were courting, but they both seemed to be enjoying themselves. Then Fancy Pants asked a question that put a hole in the mirth. "Now, what's this I hear about your friend being engaged to the Lord of Chaos?" Rarity's and Fluttershy's faces carried equal expressions at that moment. "Yes, well," the unicorn stammered, "you see, this god wanted a bride, and Fluttershy took the offer." "How very brave of her." "Oh, but it's been just terrible without her. She often takes up lessons to get groomed, and oh, the cat has been especially fussy lately. I would have gone instead of her, but Sweetie Belle, I just couldn't leave her." Fluttershy could listen no longer, and decided to check on Rainbow Dash. Her oldest friend was flying with a male pig she did not recognize. He had a light blue coat, green eyes, and a dark mane. His cute mouth was a lightning bolt with wings.